Hey folks, Scott from MSP Navigator. Hope you're doing well today. On today's show, we've got Andrew Brown. He is from a company called BeeCastle, and they provide, I'm going to explain this as a data-driven approach to the growth of your MSP. That's how I'm going to kind of introduce you, Andrew. And the reason for that is because I haven't seen your product yet, and what you've got to show us. Do you want to give us just like the overview or high-level overview of what BeeCastle actually is, a little bit of history on the company, and what part of the MSP sort of market that you help service?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Scott. So BeeCastle, we're an integrated platform for ConnectWise. So we help MSPs who are on ConnectWise use data to be more proactive, less reactive, less intuition-based, more proactive around making more sales with their existing customers. We do that through reports in white space, understanding what your customers have, don't have, understanding who you're talking to. Are you over-servicing accounts? Are you letting big customers slip through the cracks? And then actually being accountable for it. So yeah, giving these insights out of the box, working with MSPs as we build the product, and making insights that are relevant.
How long have you been in the market for?
BeeCastle's only been in the market for probably about a year and a bit now.
Okay.
Before that, the idea originally came from our founder running a large team, and his problem was he didn't know who his team was speaking to. Who was engaged with who hasn't been engaged in a while. So we built this kind of relationship tracking tool. We then went to market, and we spoke to a bunch of MSPs and said, hey, do you want to sell this product? And what it turned into was MSPs saying, we have the same issue, can you help us?
Okay.
Which then eventually led to, we use ConnectWise for all of our customer and contact information, can you integrate with that? Which then led into building out white space and revenue and product reports and things like that. And now for the past probably 8 months, it's just been solely focused with ConnectWise MSPs, trying to solve that problem for them.
So is this, you'll have to forgive me for my stupidity. Is this a CRM or is this something else? Because it sounds very much like a CRM. You mentioned making sure big customers aren't falling through the cracks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a CRM.
Okay.
It's quite interesting. We like to see ourselves as more of an analytics product. So we'll show you a lot of insights, we'll give you data, and we'll give you kind of suggestions on what you should do. It's not something that manages pipeline or your customers or anything like that. Keep that in ConnectWise, keep it in your day-to-day use.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I did see that on your website, data-driven approach. So I'm keen to see what these data points are, what these elements are, how it all ties together. Yeah,
sure. Did you want me to kind of show you a quick demo?
Yeah, if you fire up your screen and we can go through it, and I can ask even more dumb questions. Hopefully.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hopefully I'm answering the right questions though for the audience that maybe never heard of you. So
that's all right.
So I guess actually the first question I have before we go back into this is, you mentioned ConnectWise. Now there is obviously a bigger other player in the marketplace. Do you integrate with any of the other PSAs that are out there?
Not at this stage. We did ConnectWise because we had this kind of flagship customer who were like, if we solve it for them, we can take it to the world.
Okay.
So we built it for ConnectWise, and ConnectWise being the largest market, we just service them. The plan is to obviously integrate with Autotask and the other PSAs that are coming up these days. But we really want to just nail it with ConnectWise first, and then we can kind of replicate it with the other PSAs too.
Okay, good to know. All right, so this at the moment, this is, if you're running ConnectWise, this is something that we need to look at. So let's get into it. Sorry to interrupt you, Andrew.
This is relevant for you if you're on ConnectWise. I guess a little bit of the background and how it all works. We have API integration into ConnectWise. The reason why we do that is we can start looking at things like your customers, your contacts, but also your products, your agreements, your revenue, your invoices, things like that.
Okay.
We also integrate with Microsoft 365. So think your emails, your meetings, your phone calls, if you're doing direct routing through Teams. And then we use all that data, we transform it and make it insightful and useful. And then we create dashboards out of the box that kind of help you be more structured around account management. What we're looking at here is on first integration, we look at all your customers and we break them down into different tiers for you. So you've got platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. And we do it based on how much money your customers are spending with you on agreements.
I see. Okay.
So we
it's not
did it.
end users, it's actual money in the door every month from each of these customers.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Understanding, how much they're spending with you, which ones are spending more than other ones. And we broke it down into platinum, gold, silver, and bronze based on an SLI standard, which I'm sure you and your viewers are familiar with, the service leadership.
I have no idea.
Okay, well, what that looks like is the top 45% of your revenue generally comes from your platinum accounts.
All right.
The next 35% comes from your gold accounts. The next 10% silver, final 10% bronze.
This is like the pyramid, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So understanding, do you have a big whale customer that's making up all your revenue, or do you have a nice spread and you've kind of reduced your risk that way, things like that. We found that most MSPs have some sort of tiering that they do. And sometimes I've seen that where they've got like 10 different variables on why this customer is important because of the propensity to grow, and they have certain solutions that they bought from us and they have a low ticket count, things like that. We found that doing this revenue-based approach got like 90% of it accurately. It's a good starting point for a lot of people. Kind of gets a bit of structure in there that's written down and it's live.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense as opposed to the reputation of that customer or where they might go in future. It comes back to your data, doesn't it? A data-driven approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of the reason why we do the breakdown though is you can start thinking about, okay, we've got 26 platinum accounts, we've got 70 golds. Do we want to think about treating them differently in terms of engagement? So maybe our platinum accounts, we want to be meeting with them monthly versus our gold accounts, we want to meet with them quarterly. And start setting different kind of KPIs around that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's good for a lot of people who, they're a little bit unstructured. They're trying to, tidy up kind of the house and be a bit more data driven about who they should be speaking to.
Yeah, just having that awareness. I think, probably most MSPs are aware of who their big customers are, but having a clear view across the whole business, what these three elements are, I think, it'd be really, really useful.
Yeah. So this is kind of just the starting point, just to establish a little bit of structure.
Okay.
We then start to look at things like what products are you selling, who are you selling them to, and how much revenue are they generating, and how many customers haven't you sold it to as well. Okay. So this page in particular, I like to call it the product penetration view. What it is looking at is your subcategories within ConnectWise.
Yeah.
The revenue that you have sold within those subcategories, how many customers you've sold it to, and then how many potential customers don't have that service yet.
I see. Okay.
So for a lot of people, this would be like 365, Datto, Sophos, name your favorite vendor. Yeah. But understanding, is there a lot of growth opportunity with this vendor in our customer base? Should we have a strategic focus on a particular area? Things like that.
Excellent. Okay, I love that. And yeah, I've been talking about that for years, having that clear view of the services that you're selling, which one of your clients, it's almost like where are the blank spots of these services. I call it the product matrix, but this is just another way of displaying it.
Yeah, and I guess the beauty of it is there's no manual setup required. There's no like report generation or having an analyst try and break this down with all the different data sources. It's straight out of the box, which a lot of people like.
So is there a way to, from here, if I'm looking at backup at the moment, it's a fairly easy thing to sell, manage backup. Everyone needs backups. And can I click into that to see which customers don't have it?
Yeah, exactly. So you could say, All right, there are 89 customers who have it out of our 537 build customers. Show me everyone who doesn't have it, which is our prospecting tool. Basically what this is give me a list of all the customers who don't have backup.
Okay.
You know, simple enough. But it's got a little bit more smarts around it as well. So you could say, give me a list of all the customers who don't have backup, but they do have CSP with us. So they've got some sort of 365 subscription. They probably need backup. It's an easy cross sell. It's an easy upsell.
Yep.
Give me a list of all the customers who fit that criteria.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
I love it from a sales perspective, like your internal sales, you know, account managers can go in here and just get a quick view immediately where they need to concentrate.
Yeah, just on that, you can also break it down by that patch of customers as well. So if you're an account manager at an MSP, and you've got a patch of customers that you're responsible for, this page and the one I showed just before, you can have that view specifically just for your customers. So you could say, you know, for my Bravo patch, for example, probably a bad example, just show me my customers and where the product penetration is with that. Or with the prospecting, show me all the customers who don't have backup within my patch of customers.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's all segmented off for almost like the user that's viewing this. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Also, you can click the ones that you know are probably a good fit and then create opportunities and push it back into ConnectWise as opportunities. So you can get kind of a real workflow around that. Keep it within ConnectWise though, and just use this as kind of the insights.
And so that's the API. It's going two ways then. It's not just pulling data in, it's pushing data as well back to ConnectWise.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Okay.
We also have views around kind of revenue growth. So understanding for your agreement revenue specifically, your recurring revenue, how is that growing over time? But rather than just looking at kind of bottom line revenue, we start to look at kind of the different drivers behind that. So how much of the revenue was from brand new customers that you've onboarded versus how much of it was from your existing customers who just spent more money with you. And then how is that offset by churn? So you can start thinking about kind of the different drivers behind your growth.
I see. Okay. So where it's coming from?
Yeah. So this one's kind of like a better view of that. So the dark green is that new customers, the light green is the customers who increased, and then the light red is customers who have decreased.
Okay. So July 20th wasn't that great. So yeah, July. Yeah. Okay. All right. Love it.
The $1 million question though is, you know, who are those customers?
Yeah.
I want to see what that red was. You know, I wasn't aware that we had this big drop. Show me. So a feature that we just recently launched that I was keen to show you last time.
This is the cool new feature you were talking to me about.
This is the cool one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We have a view of the net change of every single customer now.
Okay.
Understanding quarter by quarter, how has their revenue changed versus the prior period?
I see. Okay. Very smart.
And then if you really want to drill down to the bottom part as well, you can go into each individual customer, understand exactly what they're consuming, how that has changed over time, and then you know, compare that with their non-agreement spend as well. A lot of data in there.
So I'm guessing that based on these types of figures that you're showing me here, Andrew, you mentioned at the start of this that this tool can help you with the larger clients and make sure they're not falling through the gaps. So these all this red is to alert you to just that. Is that correct?
Yeah, often what we're seeing with other MSPs is customers will slowly reduce their spend as they start to downsize and move their solutions away. Often you hear about the big customer that leaves and kicks a stink and whatnot.
Yeah.
But being aware of all the other little changes as well is important to stay on top of, and you know, make sure you're across and you're in front of it. And also there's a side of it that the reporting like this is really hard to do. Like if you're trying to do it yourself, and super time consuming.
Yeah, I can imagine. You have to be like an Excel guru or something like that and just getting all the data to start with into there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is real time as well, so it's always up to date and available for everyone if they wanted to
Okay.
see it.
So, so is there anything predictive in this? It's just showing you where you are at the moment and where you've been. But is there any intelligence around this tool at all?
Yeah, around the revenue side of things,
Okay.
what we're thinking about at the moment, and it's a great question, Scott, is could we say for this managed backup, yes, we know that you've sold 89 of it. We know that there's 448 of your customers who don't have it, but could we size that opportunity for you? Could we say, if you did sell it, there is 150K of additional revenue that could be coming, or things like that?
Yeah.
We do also have on our white space pages, which is like the real data view of things, there's section called possible prospects. I'll see if I can find it. Probably not a good example here, but we do a like for like model on all your customers. And we say, other customers like this also buy this. So we think it's probably a good prospect for you to go after. So there's a little bit of like recommendation in there as well.
I love it. Yeah, I think I'm thinking from the artificial intelligence or machine learning perspective, not AI, but machine learning, the amount of data that you guys must be able to collect across the whole MSP space, and you'll be able to figure out, okay, what service is most profitable, where are the where's the low-hanging fruit for most MSPs, what they should be selling to their existing customers, and being able to predict that and suggest it within the tool.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
It's a really interesting like way of thinking because we're looking at all of the 365 interactions as well.
Oh, are you?
I'll just show you quick. I'll just show you quickly here. Imagine if we could start saying things like, it generally takes 3 meetings before they buy a solution or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
From my experience, for me anyway, it was more like 12, but there you
yeah,
go.
no, me too. Yeah.
It wasn't a SaaS product.
Yeah, yeah. But I guess as we develop it, as we start out, we're just trying to nail some of those key things. So
Yeah.
like as an MSP, as a sales leader, where should we be focusing our efforts?
Okay.
Where's the biggest gap in our solution set? Who should we be talking to? What customers? From the tracking side, it's around like engagement. So which of our big customers haven't had a meeting or a call versus who's only had an email? Things like that, just trying to hit kind of the key problem statements.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So what's it? What exactly? How is it tracking with an Office 365? It's tracking what the decision makers that the salespeople are speaking to in the meetings. What's it looking at?
Yeah, so we're integrated with Graph API within Microsoft 365.
Okay.
So we look at every email meeting and direct calling through Teams with customers you have in ConnectWise. So we sync the interactions between the email addresses. And then if I just go into an example here.
So is this end users or actual like the decision makers, the ones that the account managers are speaking with?
It's up to you who you want to sync. Generally, we do it everyone.
Do you?
But
Okay.
with yeah, because we think it's important to have engagement at multiple levels of the business.
Yeah.
But when you're thinking about whose interactions you want to be tracking and measuring, it's often your account managers, your salespeople, the people you care about their relationships with. So if an account manager is meeting with a admin person rather than a decision maker, maybe you want to be encouraging them to meet with that decision maker instead, so you can have actual, a decent relationship with them.
Excellent. Okay. And what are you actually doing with these interactions? What's like behind the scenes? What's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah. Like what are you doing with this data that you're accessing through the graph?
Well, essentially we're building these dashboards for you guys. So
okay.
Understanding, for your different segments of clients, your top clients, for example, who have you spoken to? Who haven't you spoken to? If you're a sales leader.
we've got down sort of bottom here, companies by interaction type for the last 90 days. And we're highlighted that you've had absolutely no interaction, Andrew, with these 5 companies. Okay.
Yep. Yep. These are our important customers. No one in the team has spoken to them in 90 days. You know, maybe we should be focusing our efforts and reach out to them.
Yeah,
All right.
I can see this almost as a sales tool, or well, not even sales, it's relationship, isn't it? Customer relationship, but being aware of this is like strategically important.
You'd be surprised when we do like a first sync with MSPs where the engagement is and where they think it is. Often it's, yeah, we're much higher than, you know, we're more engaged with our customers than we think we are.
Yeah.
But the reality is often disappointing.
Okay, and they give you the excuse that, oh, I don't make my phone calls through Teams, I'm just doing it on a phone, so you're not seeing interaction there. Is that the excuse?
We have had that come up, but a lot of MSPs these days, especially working remotely, is the Teams meeting is super critical.
Yeah.
You know, with our clients as well.
Okay, I absolutely love this feature, being able to see this.
Yeah, this one's quite exciting. It's cool as well because we work with MSPs and they might have 40% engagement across their managed clients. And we work with them, we show them the insights and maybe guide them to who they should reach out to. And you see the improvements over time. You see, you know, they were 40% engaged this month, and now next month, you know, it was much higher. So it's quite tangible at the results that you can see.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, for me anyway, what I've come to learn through working in the MSP space, both in a, you know, from a sales perspective and a marketing perspective that I do now, is that it's all about the relationship with that potential customer or with your existing customers. That's where the growth is. It's about the relationships you have. And that's just after, you know, speaking to many successful MSPs. It's like, yeah, you get tied down in the detail, but it's about the relationships more than anything else. And I think this just kind of brings it up to an awareness level. Who you're not.
Yeah, exactly. And you do see, and we see it in the data as well, the MSPs that are engaging more with their customers are having growth.
Yeah.
The top MSPs who are having a lot of meetings per month with these existing clients are getting more growth out of these clients because they're staying top of mind, they're challenging them with new solutions, they're building roadmaps with them, and they're doing it outside of just a QBR as well every quarter. You know, they're regularly engaging with them.
Yeah, I guess for a lot, certainly for me anyway, I'd be like, okay, so I'm not going to be meeting with them quarterly. I'm going to be meeting with them every month. Am I going to start to piss them off and annoy them if hello, I'm here to sell you something new, you know? So it's like the approach that you take to that monthly meeting, I think more than anything else, that would be almost like my next question with this potentially. Yeah. So
it's a really interesting topic, actually. It's how do you add value every month as a MSP? How do you engage with these decision makers, take time out of their day, and you know, make sure you are adding value and you're not just selling them something, but also you're not just as a point of tell me everything that's going wrong in the past month. You know, it needs to be productive.
Yeah, you don't want to get into that conversation ever, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, it's quite exciting for us at the moment. A lot of MSPs, when we meet with them, and we are very early stage, so a lot of them have never heard of us. Yeah, they're like, wow, I can't believe this exists. You know, this saves me so much time in trying to figure this out myself. I'm struggling to get my sales reps to put in their activities, and I don't know who's talking to who last time someone was met with, what they spoke about, things like that. So
I think this certainly helps drive that, you know, that struggle that all sales directors, managers have, or owners have with their sales team putting in their activities, because if they have a clear reports that they can generate, then off the back of that, it's just going to fall. You need to be doing this. You need to be putting in the activities so that we can get these reports correct, and then bringing them once a week, showing these reports to the team.
Yeah, if you're interested as well, we have information around, you know, how often account managers are regularly meeting with their accounts and kind of who the top performers are, who the average is. as well. For a lot of MSPs, it's quite surprising. I'll tell you. The average amount of meetings an account manager has at the MSPs that we work with is about 25 a month.
Okay.
Which is pretty good, to be honest. It's pretty high.
Yeah,
The top amount
1.2 a day or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. If you're managing a patch of 50 customers, for example, yeah, regularly meeting with them. Some are quarterly, some are monthly. Yeah, having those regular catch-ups. And our top performer was 35, I believe.
Oh wow.
Okay. 35 meetings a month, which is pretty hardcore.
Yeah, so they're obviously just internal sales. They're not going out to market as well. They're purely focused on the account management if they're doing 35 a month.
Yeah, just talking to their existing customers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of BeeCastle. It's really exciting for us at the moment. A lot of MSPs are really looking to get structured with sales and account management. A lot of them are doing a lot of this stuff already, but it's manual and they're trying to build it out of Excel or Power BI or trying to use other ConnectWise platforms to do it. So having it all in one place out of the box has been really useful for these guys.
This is like a massive time saver, just being able to have those reports straight to hand as opposed to having to attempt to generate them on a on a monthly or quarterly basis. I can see it's a huge time saver. What about pricing, Andrew? How's it priced, this product?
So we do it in buckets. We do it the first 5 users, $2.99 Australian a month for the whole business. There's no onboarding, there's no lock-in contracts or anything. $2.99 a month, and we'll add value every month. And then up to 10 is $3.99 a month. Most MSPs don't have more than 10 salespeople. So they generally fit in those 2 buckets, but if they have more, we scale it up for them.
It's an enterprise side. Okay, excellent, Andrew. It was brilliant to have you on today's show. How can people get in touch with you to find out more and check this product out?
Yeah, we'll definitely check out BeeCastle.com or check us out on MSP Navigator. We're listed on there. Or you can email me at andrew@BeeCastle.com.
Perfect. It means I don't have to do that outro for MSP Navigator now. So thanks very much, Andrew. Hey, really great to have you on the show. Great to see this demo. As Andrew mentions, if you want to check out more about MSP, BeeCastle, or any vendor product in the MSP space, check out mspnavigator.com. Take it easy. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.